Oh, we got another Mark. Hi, Mark Bruno
Okay,
from
all right.
Texas.
And we are ready to go. We are live
Let's
streaming now.
go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hello. Good morning. It is very, very early here in Sydney. What time is it in Quebec, David?
It's 5 p.m. actually. I
Oh,
went to
yay.
a summit, a training summit today, packed day, and
Ah,
now we're
so you've
finishing the
had a
day
big
in
day.
beauty.
Fantastic. I am
Yeah.
just starting my Wednesday and I've got a big day ahead. So I've been looking forward to this for so long. I am not going to waffle on too much at the beginning, except to say, hello, my name is Danielle Stein Fairhurst. I am a financial modeling specialist and I run these virtual meetups from time to time when I meet really interesting speakers and try to bring you stuff that I think is relevant for financial modelers. And I think Copilot in Excel is a fantastic topic. And we've had such a huge response to this. So I'm really looking forward to what David has got in store for us. So I'm going to hand over to you, David. You're going to tell us a bit about yourself and get stuck into it.
Let's go. I'm so hyped to be here. Thank you for having me, Daniel. I'll start with sharing my screen and then I'll address you a few words. And I just want to do a big shout out to Carlos Barboza, which was in the previous virtual meetup. I think he had a wonderful session on charts. If you missed it, feel free to have a look at it. She'll be available somewhere. So without further
Oh yeah,
ado,
and sorry, and
yes,
Carlos
go ahead.
has agreed to do another session for us, so I will let everybody
There you
know
go.
about
Yeah, in a
that.
few weeks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
sorry.
didn't
Go
want to
ahead,
miss that
David.
out. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. All right. So let's get going with this. And oh, I don't think
Oh,
I'm sharing my
you're not
volume.
gonna
One
share that
second.
one again, are you? That video.
Oh, yeah, I will. I forgot to share the sound. So here we go. For those who didn't see that, you can see my
Oh
screen, right?
no, that's my bad angle. That's when we
It's a
were in
perfect angle.
London. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Danielle Stein
Oh,
Fairhurst.
do you hear the sound?
Danielle, nice to
Yeah.
meet you. I have a few questions for you today. What's the best Excel event out there?
Wow. Oh, I think the Global Excel Summit in London.
Which is your favorite or the best Excel feature or function and why?
Oh my gosh.
All right. So that was me and Danielle. It says stay tuned for the full episode. It's actually out. I made it for this specific webinar. So it was me and Danielle when we met in London for the first time. And since then, we talked, Danielle and I, and it was a pretty cool vibe. So here we are here. I'm here today to talk about using Copilot in Excel. I'm David Fortin. I'm a CPA. That's my previous catchphrase or whatever it's called. Learn Excel the modern way. Now it's more like learn Copilot and Excel through compelling videos. So that's what I do pretty much. And I go by Piggy Bank Accountant on YouTube, but I am David. I am a chartered professional accountant. But before we dive into using Copilot and Excel, I want to introduce myself a little bit more to give you some background on who I am and why you should listen to me, right? So I am this little young man right here. I'm a CPA, I said it already, chartered professional accountant, and that was me face when I was actually 23 years old. So 1 year ago, no, I'm kidding, a few years ago, I started my career in audit in a big four accounting firm. I was working for PwC, and I had multiple clients in the construction field, and then I traded my tools, my drill, and everything. For my tie, I was in the finance space. So that's actually my experience in the big four accounting firm. So all of this to say we are working long hours during audit, and I learned Excel a lot during these long hours, clocking 14 hours a day in the timesheet. You know the drill. And that's me on the right, coming back from a plane, a trip to a client where we talk to VP and presidents and learning Excel and having the worst problems in the world. So that's my early career. And then I moved over. You see the difference between the suit there. So I equipped my bandana to go all in Excel as a FP&A for a video game company. So I was in charge of the budget. I was a budget analyst working in Excel, once again, making a lot of analysis, charts, and all that kind of stuff. So a little bit more relaxed with my bandana there. And as we can tell, it's pretty similar right now. Then I switched to a SaaS company, software as a service company, where I was in charge of the whole FP&A. That's my boss on the left, Felix, previous boss, director of finance. He helped me a lot. He coached me a lot. And that's probably because of him that I'm doing this right now. And we raised together a 30 million in Series B, 30 million Canadian dollars for this SaaS company. Once again, I went through all the Excel charts, Excel modeling, all of this to get this money with my team. Of course, it was a teamwork. I'm a big team guy. And then we exit the company for more than $200 million. It was called Polka. You can Google it. That's true. And we were the team. I was one of the 5 first people to be informed that we were going through M&A. So I went into this M&A process. And now fast forward to today on August 18, 2023. That was my last day at work. I talked to the CEO, the CFO. They were all on board with my project, with me leaving. And I started my YouTube channel back in February, but I went full-time on YouTube as the piggy bank accountant back in August of 2023. So that's what people thought I was doing, but what I was really doing is petting our beautiful dog at the office, Pablo. So that's the startup life. So that's me at the office with my hat. So that's the vibe that you can get when you talk to me, when you see my content on the platforms. Okay, enough of talking about me. I know you came here for Copilot and Excel. So today we'll go over what is Microsoft Copilot. I'll try to explain the differences. It's so complicated. We hear Copilot for finance, we hear Copilot everywhere. What is it? It evolves so fast. People are still doing Excel. People are still doing other stuff, but Copilot is here. The AI is here. Then we'll make a quick difference between the ChatGPT versus Copilot. I know a lot of you have probably heard about ChatGPT and probably very little about Copilot, and we'll go through the differences. Then we're going to compare what is the free version of Copilot versus the pro version. The main difference is that there's one that you pay and the other one is free, but we'll go through that. And then I'll teach you a little bit real quick how to prompt, because you need to talk to AI like it was someone that you meet, not a robot. And then you have Copilot in Excel that will dive deep, and then the Q&A section. I lost the chat here for a second. Let me have a look. Here we go. Okay, everything's fine. Feel free to ask any question in the chat, by the way. I'll try to have my eyes on both screens and we'll go deep into it right now. So what is Microsoft Copilot? So basically, in one sentence, it is a ChatGPT from Microsoft. So ChatGPT is from the company that's called OpenAI, and Microsoft, well, you probably know who Microsoft are, right? So that's in a nutshell what Microsoft Copilot is. So how you can see it is it's a little Albert Einstein, right? It was fed with a lot of information. It's really, really brilliant, and even your grandmother can talk to it. So that's the danger and the strength of this tool. It's so easy. You just type stuff in there and it gives you so much information. The thing is that this Albert Einstein never gets tired, you know, like it's not like you keep asking the same question to someone. It just never gets tired. So you can keep asking and arguing with it. So that's the beauty of things. So basically, that's what is Copilot in a nutshell. I see you coming here. You're like, okay, but Copilot, we keep hearing it. So I'll try to define it the best. So what is Copilot? For Microsoft, Copilot is any Microsoft product that has AI into it. That's why you see Copilot for finance. We see Microsoft Copilot. It started with Bing Chat. It started with Bing Chat Enterprise. Now you can forget about Bing Chat. It is now Microsoft Copilot. So when we talk about Microsoft Copilot, it's this symbol that you see here with the pink. So it's basically the chatbot of Microsoft. Okay, I hope it's a little bit clearer. And then we have other stuff such as Copilot for Finance. So once again, Copilot for Finance, it's brand new. Maybe you have heard of it. That won't be the topic for today, but it's a specific product of Microsoft. It's not the Microsoft Copilot itself. It's probably the best way I can define it. And here, something very important. Today, we're going to talk about the Copilot for individuals. So Microsoft Copilot for individuals. it is a complete different thing for organizations. When I say complete different, it's kind of similar, but there are some differences. By instance, the one for organization is going to have like really enterprise grade data protection, but take for granted that today we're going through Copilot for individuals here, but it's kind of similar for enterprise, but there might be some differences. I just want to put the disclaimer here because it's important, right? So the main difference between the two, and we're going to go about this later on, is that if you don't have the paid version, you won't have the little symbol at the top right in your, Excel ribbon, Outlook ribbon, PowerPoint, OneNote. You won't have this if you don't pay. But don't worry, you'll understand by the end of this class if you should pay. And don't worry, the topic is Copilot in Excel. But I think since it's brand new, we need to do some kind of education. And I want you to make sure that we talk the same language, right?
So even if
you'll-
you've got
Yep.
365, sorry to interrupt, David.
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
if you've got, even if you've got 365, it's not going to be inside the Microsoft products. Is that right? So you have to pay regardless for
Exactly.
individuals. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
an
yeah.
important distinction.
Exactly.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're going to change it, like everything we say right now as of April 30th is subject to change tomorrow because it changes so fast. So that's another thing.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah, you
does.
need
It
you need
does.
to pay. And there was a limit before, like you needed to have minimum 300 seats to get Copilot. That's not the case anymore. So any small businesses, any individuals like me, they can buy Copilot, test it, and use it and be more productive, pretty much. Feel free if you have any question in the chat. And yeah, here we go. So I wanted to compare real quick ChatGPT versus Copilot in a nutshell because most people know ChatGPT from OpenAI, but the main difference I would say if you don't pay, so if you have the free version, Copilot is live, actually. It means it's a live AI. It means it goes on the internet. It is web grounded or web based, while ChatGPT has a knowledge cutoff as of January 2022. If you want to have a summary, it is the hockey playoff right now in North America. I forgot to say I'm in Canada, Quebec. So if you want to have the results from past or yesterday game, you won't be able with ChatGPT if you don't pay. If you have the pro version of ChatGPT, you'll be able to. But with Copilot, you will be able to. It's going to serve the internet and it's going to give you the information. How I feel, and I have some discussion with some experts. I just came back from a training, a summit in Quebec here. How I see right now ChatGPT versus Copilot is that Copilot, I feel like it's more for corporate, being integrated in the Microsoft 365 apps. Microsoft, all of you probably have a Windows computer. If you're doing more code or you're more in a startup or SaaS company, you probably have more of a Mac. So that's how I see it right now. More coding is probably more ChatGPT, and more professional services and stuff is probably more like Copilot. Another difference and it goes with the live AI is that I really use Copilot as a search engine right now. To be honest with you, I don't Google anything anymore. I just go to Copilot, I ask my question with my context, and it gives me everything that is fresh off the press from Google. So I just save time here. And it does images analysis. So it has DALL-E in Microsoft Copilot with the free version. In ChatGPT, if I'm not mistaken, you need to have the paid version to get these images generation. I actually didn't make any images from this PowerPoint with Copilot, but it's pretty easy to do and it gives great result. But these are my early findings, and please don't sue me because I'm not like a turbo expert. It just came out just like everyone. I'm just using it on a daily basis and I'm here to share my knowledge with you today. If you have any questions, feel free. Here we go. So I wanted to quickly compare, like you might want at the end of this webinar, say, oh, I will buy the Copilot Pro or should I stick with the free version? So I want to do it real quick in a nutshell and tell you if you should or should not buy Copilot Pro. So the free version, which is the gray symbol, it works on GPT 3.5. I won't get into much details. It is a large language model. What it says is that let's say GPT 3.5 is less fast, it has less data into it, and it has less memory. Okay, so it's just a cheaper version. Of course, you don't pay, and it's unclear. Like Microsoft don't really want to advertise if they're running on 3.5 or 4, but let's say if you pay, it's gonna be faster. Let's just put it like that. So yeah, the Copilot Pro is a little bit stronger. They're both live versus ChatGPT that you need to pay if you want a live AI. And the strength, I will say, of the Pro version, of course, Microsoft had to do some money, is really that it is integrated in 365 apps. And we'll see later in this webinar that maybe it's not worth yet paying for the Pro version, but feel free to ask me any question. I have used it extensively, text-based, PowerPoint-based, Excel-based, Outlook-based. And what I can tell right now is that it can be useful to have the Pro version for certain specific use case, but it's still in preview mode in Excel, by instance, which means it's only available in English in Excel, but we'll go through this a little bit later on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to jump real quick on how to prompt, and that's so important because I think if you have one skill to develop nowadays is to actually know how to prompt. So how to prompt is actually how to ask question to the AI. Is anyone using Copilot? Oh, okay, sorry, you're talking to the chat. I'm reactive on this chat. So how to prompt is probably one of the skills that you need to develop because you need to understand something very, very important is that there is a recipe. Just like, when you do a banana cake, if you do it with apples, then it can maybe be an apple pie, right? And it won't work. But my general advice is talk to Copilot like you talk to your mom. So it's pretty simple. Be polite and just make sure you give enough context. So Microsoft came up with a formula which is called the GCSE formula. So first you have to start with your goal. So what response do you want from Copilot? Then you add some context. And that's really important. Copilot, he doesn't know who you are. He never talked to you, and he doesn't learn as much as you talk to him, right? Every time you start a conversation, think about this Albert Einstein. You talk to Einstein, and every time you click on new topic, Einstein, he completely forgot about you. Think about like you meet someone on the street, there's something new, someone new that you meet every time. So every time you have to give context. Hey, I'm a financial modeler. I have 25 years of experience with Excel. I need help with this formula. If you say I'm a complete beginner on Microsoft Excel, it's going to behave completely differently and it's going to give you more insights for your specific context. So that's really, really important to understand, right? The third ingredient is the source. So as you can see here, this is more for the business side of things. It says focus on emails and team chats since June. If you use it for individuals, you could tell Copilot focus on the previous year of TripAdvisor reviews, by instance, if you're planning a trip, let's say, okay? And then the expectation. You say to Copilot, please use simple language so I can get up to speed quickly. If it's for a friend or family party, you can say, please have it in a more friendly tone. If it's more for an email, a professional email, you can tell I want it in a professional tone. So it's basically just setting up for success, just like you would talk to anyone. Do you open up with someone and start talking about your personal life or whatever if you don't give any context? No, you start with the goal, the context. So it's just like a normal conversation. A lot of people haven't used it yet. Hoping to use this webinar as my launchpad, largely use Power BI at work. So, okay. Yeah, I know that they're going to integrate a Copilot on Power BI. I haven't experienced it myself. I don't even know if it's live yet. Not in Excel from Myra. Okay, we're hoping to get you some clarity on this today.
Yeah, I wondered if how important it is to be polite. Like what happens if you don't use please and thank you and all that sort of stuff? Does it
I
make
don't
any
think it
difference?
I don't think it mattered that much. I
Yeah.
think it's more like a meme. Like I always
Uh-huh.
say please, and I don't
Yeah,
think
it's just
it matters that
natural.
much.
It's yeah. But I
Always
wonder
use
if it
please
makes a
and thank
difference.
you. Yeah, I don't think it will make a difference, but
Mm.
yeah, I mean, put every chance on your side. All right, so that's a prompt formula. I can talk about it way more if you want, but all right, so now let's dive deep into it. I know you came here for Copilot in Excel, and I want to introduce something. It makes a difference in your mind. All right, so I'm going to go on Copilot in Excel, or actually I'm going to start with Copilot here, and I have a prompt. I wanted to show you, you probably see my screen here. So you have Copilot. So I just went to copilot.microsoft.com. I'm using the Pro version, but you should pretty much have the same results or similar results. That's another thing. When you do a presentation with AI, it's never the same result because the way that generative AI works, we're all going to have different answers based on the timing we send our prompt. So that's the beauty of AI. But I want to show you a bad example of a prompt, like give me 25 lines of Excel data. That will be a bad prompt, by instance. And Copilot is going to load, and it starts telling me the line of data. So as you can see, we have complete random data here with the ID, the name. Most of us here probably know that we can use convert text to column or convert text to whatever it's called, and then remove all these symbols, right? So here we go. So basically, that's a super bad prompt, I would say, because I didn't give any context. I didn't give Copilot which kind of data I wanted. I didn't say who I was. I didn't say what was the goal, the GCSE, goal, context, source, expectation that we just saw. So I am going to actually create a new topic because I don't really care of this data. And I'm going to enter a prompt based on what we just saw. So what is the goal? The goal is to give me 25 lines of Excel data. I'm going to press Shift Enter to make my prompt a little bit clearer for you guys on the screen. And then I'm going to copy paste my line, which is, so that's my context. I'm an accountant making a presentation to showcase Copilot to professionals between 25 and 40 years of age. Sorry if there are some people below or older than that. It's just for the context. And I will put the expectation here. My expectation is I want a data set based on the HR best recruiting firm in Canada. It's a brand new company here in Canada, very famous. It is a company that sells HR consulting. Let your imagination run the data. Make sure to add employee names with hours they bill to clients, the revenues, and make it fun. And I will put a source, and actually source maybe was not needed here, but I want to be able to build analysis, charts, and other insights based on this data. Oh, happy birthday to Bob in the chat, turning 82, still being really on top of his game, learning the new tools. That's great. Thank you, Bob, for being here. And I'm just going to click submit while we talk a little bit. So as you can see, it's pretty fast. I heard some people, they had issues with speed and Copilot. Maybe that's what you get when you don't pay. Of course, they're going to prioritize you when you pay. So that's something. But on my side, it's been pretty fast. Okay. And here we go. So we have really tailored data now. As you can see in my prompt, I asked to put the revenues. I asked to put employee names with hours they billed. So I have hours billed. And you can add anything that you want. Let's say, can you add shirt size and randomize them from small to large? And please add random shirt color. And I just want to add some more data. So I really use this on my side to generate random data. And don't worry, we're not in Excel yet. We're just building the data, and then we're going to go in Excel. And there is a functionality with this, as you can see at the top here, like it's drafting the data right now, and it's in a weird form. But you see how there is a copy button. I don't know why. Half of the time, Copilot will show me this button actually. It's going to show me this button where I can actually just click on that, and it's going to bring me to Excel online. I tried to do it a few different times, like, hey, I know you can bring my data to Excel. I know you can pop this button at the top right corner. And I didn't have the chance or didn't have the luck to bring me back this button. So I won't be able to show it to you today, but that's the beauty of AI. Sometimes it just remove a feature, sometimes it just add a feature. But right now we're still in preview mode. It's still
Yeah, you
brand
just
new.
never quite know what you're going to get when you do these things live.
Exactly. But you know, it's no big deal. Like it just click a button, it brings you into Excel online, then you can open it in Excel desktop. So we're just going to jump straight up into Excel. I just wanted to show you, we're not going to use this very same data, but I want to get into the core of this webinar and I want to show you what's possible to do in Excel right now. And yeah, so I'm just going to open Excel. I think I have it here already. So yeah, tell me if it's big enough on the right here. So the first thing you need to know is that Copilot for now is in preview mode. I said it a little bit earlier in Excel, okay? In Excel, it's in preview mode. What it means is that it's not really intended for large audience or like, you know, they always say with AI, always double check your results. And preview mode for Microsoft means it's only available in English. So you won't have it in French. And yeah, so that's preview mode. So it's out there. So it's not perfect yet. They sell the product. It's not completely done. Fair enough. What you need to know as well is that you need to have your documents on OneDrive or SharePoint for this to work. If you have this grayed out, just mouse over. What happened to the big green convert my data to a table button? You mean, oh yeah, when you click here, yeah, so when you click on a table that is not table, yeah, you're right. So basically, if I'm just going to randomize data here, header 1, header 2, header 3, and I'm gonna put the cells, let's say, it's going to actually, normally it detects, maybe I probably need to put more data, but it should detect that it's not like database because Copilot only work on data and it puts you a button in
Yeah.
Copilot. If you don't know how to do it, insert table, my table has headers. I don't know why I'm in R1 C1 mode right now, but that's another story. And then Copilot pops up. So that's a great
Yeah,
question
a
from
lot of
Mike.
these new features only work with tables, so it is important to know how to create a table.
Yeah. I think as we go, it's probably going to evolve, maybe work on financial statements. I think they have a really specific intention with Excel. I'm not sure what it is, but like I see Copilot for Finance coming up, which is like a custom GPT that was trained for finance that is going to help you reconcile bank statements to general ledgers and stuff like that. Yes, we have the Control T key as well. A lot of knowledge being shared in the chat. I love that. So yeah, so getting back to this data set here, you need to have your data as a table. It needs to be in SharePoint. And what you need to know is that Copilot is in preview mode. And I know you're probably like, especially if you have looked some videos on internet about Copilot, we all do the same stuff. Like there's not much you can do in Excel, but don't worry and stay tuned. I want you to stay tuned because I actually had a situation with a client 2 weeks ago and Copilot actually saved my life. And you might laugh at me because it was a very simple situation, but I didn't know the answer, and Copilot helped me. But that's for later. I just wanted to tell you real quick what you can do with Copilot. So as you click on the button at the top right, it's going to pop this pane, and there is a few options up here or down here, sorry. So as you can see, you have the microphone, so you can prompt with your voice, nothing crazy here. You also have a few pre-built prompts. So as you can see, you can click on view more prompts, and there is like some kind of dictionary of what's possible to do with Copilot. You can even save some prompts. So if I always use this one, by instance, I can click it. It's going to go in the save prompt. It's a filter, and you can basically that's what you can do generally with Copilot. I will just go with the features to the right, but there are some custom or actually pre-saved, pre-built prompts that you can have. And everything that I said earlier still apply, right? Copilot, they work all the same way. So you need to give more context. That's way better if you add more details, you know? So as you can see, you have some buttons here at the bottom, and I will just click on show data inside here at the bottom and I just click on the random cell, and I will just click on show data inside and see what it gives me. And we're testing stuff here, okay? Hopefully this work. So see, it doesn't work. I'm having trouble. I hope it's working.
I think you broke
Okay,
the
so
internet, David.
I broke the internet. So I click on show data insights and it doesn't work. But
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I'll show you what it should look like. I think it's this one. Which one? This example. So that's the beauty of doing live AI. You know,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
cut, but I don't have it here. Maybe I have it here. I know I had something. Anyways, it gives you a lot of data and a lot of I can probably make it work. So I'll try and do something else. I'll try add a formula. Okay, so Copilot can
Yeah,
give
it's
you
working now.
insights on data. It's chart. I think it's working now. Yeah, let's try something else. Okay, so I'll put can you create a running sum based on the revenue CAD column? So as we saw, I'm really specific. I told Copilot, can you create a running sum? And I indicate where, you know, where it should feed is data. And let's see if this works. I hope it works. If not, we'll go on my YouTube and we'll freestyle through a video. So it takes a few minutes. Here we go. Okay, so did it work? We're going to, and when we mouse over, you see, it just added a running sum. And you're going to be, but it's super easy to make a running sum, right? Most of us in here maybe have deep Excel knowledge. It will have taken 5 seconds for us to do it. But how I see Copilot in Excel right now is it really intended for rookies. It's really anecdotic, well, I'll say, but I hired my little niece. She's 14 years old and I wanted her to help me with the content I'm creating, and she legit never opened a computer in her life. They're always on their cell phone with TikTok and stuff. I bet 99%, I'm pretty sure she can't make a running sum. And I really think Copilot is probably intended for people like this that are really rookie, really beginner, but they know that's what a running sum is, and they actually prompt like that, then Copilot does it for them. Insert, and does it work? 9,000, 9,000, 9,000 plus 5K, 14K, right? And I wasn't really specific with Copilot. I think it got better. But what I see is I should have prompted a little bit better. I should have told Copilot, can you calculate a running sum? I have 9,000 in the first row. I want you to give me back 9,000 as a result. I have 5,000 in second row. I want you to give me 14,000 in the second row. So we
Wow,
say
by the time
prompt
you
by,
typed all of that, I think you could have built the formula.
yes, but not my little niece.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the limitations of Copilot right now.
Yeah. Interesting formula
So
that it came up with. It came up with a sum index. Okay.
yeah, I'm not sure I would have done it this way, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how it works right
Interesting.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, something I want to show you, it's the add formula, Colin. Like what I wanted to do the other day is actually to add maybe I'll add it there. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be easier. So I wanted to say like unique ID, you know, like I wanted
Mm.
Copilot to do a VLOOKUP. So let's say I have the unique ID here, and then I have it in another tab. I'm just going to put another tab, and I'm going to put these names, you know, like just real quick, I want to match two listings or names here and unique ID. So I set everything here. I put random numbers because they have unique ID, Control T. I switch it to a table. So I was like, okay, my data is set up. I'm ready to do a VLOOKUP. Most of us in here probably know how to do a VLOOKUP. So I will go and match my name with my unique ID, drag it down, blah, blah, blah. So I actually tried to tell Copilot, I want to add unique ID to this table. They are located in the tab Sheet 3. My unique IDs are in column. Actually, I made this wrong. Actually, I'm just, you know, limitation of VLOOKUP. That's why I
I
use
would,
XLOOKUP
it
by
would
now.
use that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you're going to tell it,
Wait.
you want it to, you
Yeah.
specifically want it to use VLOOKUP instead of XLOOKUP. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
just
right, all
going
right,
to
all
switch
right.
that back to a table. Here we go.
Okay.
So here it goes from left to right. She'll use XLOOKUP. Yes, but not everyone has Excel 365 yet, and I want to give a chance to Copilot. I'm not sure if it works with XLOOKUP. Actually, I haven't tried. I don't think it will work. So here I have everything I need, or actually my data should be fine, or XLOOKUP. My unique IDs are in column A, and my names are in column B of the tab sheet tree. And I did this multiple times. I tried it extensively. However, I prompted, it was not working. So I could not use Copilot because if I don't know what a VLOOKUP is, I won't be able to tell him, hey, can you do a VLOOKUP? If I don't know what a VLOOKUP can do or can achieve, I can't prompt it. That's a little bit inception. It's a catch-22. Oh, actually, did it work? Oh my God. I think, okay, so VLOOKUP won't here. Yeah, that's true. I just switched them. You're right, Bob. But see, I think we have something here. It actually prompted me a next lookup, and that's brand new right now. I'm flabbergasted, and I don't know if it worked. Oh, see,
Okay.
when I go to insert column, it doesn't really work.
I wonder if
But
it's because you're in R1C1 mode because it's got your columns as 1, 2, 3 rather than
yeah, I
A,
don't
B,
know
C.
why I
Maybe.
have
Yeah, yeah.
that. Formulas. There we go.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right. Yeah, so as you can see, it did something not that bad, I think.
yeah.
It's brand new for me,
So it
guys. I have to
knows.
admit.
Yeah, yeah. So it knows that
It
XLOOKUP will, yeah.
Yeah, so it explains find the unique ID of each employee by looking up their name in the names and unique ID table, table tree, and returning the corresponding unique ID. This provides a way to match employee information from this table with their unique ID from another table. So yeah, I think it works. So basically, I'm discovering it just like you guys. When I did this presentation for Daniel in a smaller group, it was on March 6th, I think. It was not working at all. It was like, I don't know.
Ah,
And I
keep
was even
changing.
telling, hey, can you do a VLOOKUP? Here's what you need to do. And it was not working at all. So I think that's great. That's cool. So for someone that is completely new, doesn't even know what XLOOKUP is, I think this could work. And I don't want to take too much time to go on the XLOOKUP itself, but that's a limitation, but it's still we're getting better. So that's cool. Microsoft are improving stuff. I'm sure we will do this tomorrow. It will maybe not work anymore, but that's another topic. All right, I'm just going to delete the columns real quick. I want to show you some of the features that are possible. If we want to go, could you, oh, that's a little bit small. Could you highlight the top 10% values of the revenue, Canadian dollars? That's something possible. So kind of basic. Once again, we'll go there, maybe do conditional formatting, top 10%, and it does normally it works. We have limitation right now. I don't know what's going on. It works, and what it does, it goes to the conditional formatting, and it's going to create a rule. So it works for conditional formatting, and we've seen. I'm just going to try something else as well. Can you color the shirt in column shirt color with the specific color? By instance, if a shirt is blue, I want to color the cell with blue color. Copilot seems to have some issues right now,
Okay.
but normally it's kind of the basic things that really work. It can put some color with the conditional formatting. It can detect a word, a specific word, and add colors to it. It can add column. It can make you charts. And I probably have this Excel somewhere that I had done with you, Daniel, that shows like what it's like.
Mm.
I would really like
Yeah,
to
I
show
remember
you
this one.
actually.
Okay. It seems to be taking it's just
Yeah.
having a moment
Yeah, I'm
to.
just going to have a look. I'm just going to flash my YouTube channel while we do this. I'm sorry I'm unable. So it's completely broken right now. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Any live stream goes wrong, just like at
Actually,
the global.
while we're
Yeah, go
here,
ahead.
maybe you could
Yep.
answer. There's a question in the Q&A
Yeah.
about precedent documents or models. So can you load stuff into Copilot? I mean, if you're using Copilot with 365, then it already has all of your documents. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So how a Copilot for 365 works, I'm just going to do a crash course real quick about that. And I'm going to find this graph. So to answer your question, Matthew, I think that's how it will work. So I lots of data here, but what Copilot for 365 does, and I'm not an expert, very advanced on that because I don't have the access for business, but what it does is like it's a Google for your internal documents. So I am guessing if you make a custom GPT, when I say a custom GPT, it's like what they did for Copilot for finance. They trained it with a lot of finance data to be a specialist in finance. So if you will make a Copilot with a specialist in your Excel models, to be honest with you, I don't think we're there yet. I don't think it's going to be able to analyze all of your Excel. What I know is that you can probably train him to say, okay, in my Excel file, my model is always the same. In column A, I have XYZ data. In column B, I have XYZ data. And it could maybe, and again, it's huge maybe because it's still really in preview mode, how I see how it works. So if you can follow my mouse, you ask your prompt, it goes in there through Copilot. It grounds it with the plugins that you can put with Bing Chat. If you have the enterprise version, you can just close the Copilot so it doesn't go to the Bing Chat, but it goes to like your emails, your files, and your meeting here in the Microsoft Graph. You know, this part here at the bottom is not for individual. It's like for enterprise enterprise license. So I'm not sure if it answers your question. I had similar question in the past. I got a client the other day. Hey Dave, can I analyze my 5 previous year of financial statements of like 10 different clients? Maybe one day. We're not there yet. Right now, it's more like text-based. And as you can see, right now we're having issues with probably a Microsoft Copilot outage or something. It works half and half, but that's something I saw. People think it's really strong. It just began, but I really like to compare it to internet. When I was a kid, I was gaming. My mom had to do a phone call, and boom, I will lose internet, right? So that's how I see it. Right now, we're like talking to each other. You guys are the four corners of the planet, and we talk real time, you know? So we have another question from, I hope I answered the question, Matthew. I don't think it's possible right now. I will have to run some tests. Maybe I can get back to you in a few weeks if I test this in enterprise. I don't think we're there yet, to be honest with you. Can Copilot do things like add a button to the ribbon with a custom format, use comma for thousand and no, or is it on relation to function on worksheet? That's a super great question. That is a SharePoint document in it. It's good to know. So Paul, to get back to your question, right now, Copilot is really only working with tables, you know. So it works with tables. It won't be able to do, let's say I would like to add 5 worksheets to my workbook. I don't think it's how it's intended to
But
work right now.
it can do the formatting that Paul's asking about, yeah?
Um, yeah. I think
If
so,
you
yeah,
ask it
because
to, remove the decimals or
yeah,
something like that, it could do that.
yes, exactly. Again, you know, I know we always get these wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are like me, I know it. But that's actually an example of where I actually wanted to highlight the top 10% of my data. And I just want to show you real quick. That's what Copilot did. So when I prompted in,
Oh, so it did.
could you highlight the top 10% of my revenues? It actually did this, and I did nothing. It just went in the backend and did that. It didn't just apply color, it went with the conditional formatting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Conditional formatting worked well. Yeah, it's still really in preview mode. So it brings me to my next point about creating better for it to format the video. Okay, so you mean like like a uh custom formatting, like always like a new formatting type,
It
let's
could
say?
tell you how to do that. I don't think it could
Mhm.
do it for you, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's,
Mm-mm.
you know, just like we saw with the XLOOKUP, even though the XLOOKUP, I was really surprised, it gave us some kind of solution. How I see it right now is like I'd really like some program stuff, really basic information you can do with it. But I actually want to share one thing that actually was really, that helped me. It saved me on a client last week, and I don't want to go full-fledged on that. I actually made a video. I can maybe flash my YouTube real quick, but this video right here So how to really use Copilot in Excel, which is the long format of what I'm going to give you in like 3 minutes time. Okay. So you don't need pro version. So that's the catchphrase because that's true. As I said, Copilot Pro, you pay for the button here, but actually there is something cool that if you don't pay, you just have the free version, you can actually achieve some results in Excel. So I add a client here, and I have this Excel file here. So I had a client. He's an accountant like me, and he wanted something pretty basic. He said, Dave, I have dates here. I want to talk to my CEO, my CFO, and I want to switch the dates, and I want my data to pop up here. Okay. So I was like, super easy. You can probably do a sum if, you can do an XLOOKUP, but what happened if you add some categories? Let's say we have Danielle here, or not Danielle because these are animals. We have David. That's weird, you know? And so he wanted to have something, you know, so I was like, maybe the solution is somewhere around sum if mixed with an index match. XLOOKUP doesn't work. Maybe I could have multiple sum if. So, you know, I had a few options, but I could not find how to, because I'm not an index match guy, I'm an XLOOKUP guy, and XLOOKUP I will add to have multiple XLOOKUP. I want it to be very, very simple with my friend and be like, this is one formula, but I could not get my head around it. I probably had to Google it. So I asked, my first reflex was to ask someone on LinkedIn, hey, I need help, blah, blah, blah. I was like, why am I asking this person? I have Copilot, which is the Albert Einstein of Excel. So I went all in crazy. And that's actually my prompt that I did. I don't want you to read everything, but I just used the goal, context, source, expectation formula. So I was like, I'm just going to read this one. Hi, I want to have a summary of my data. The main goal is to change a single date, and it gives me the right sum of the column that this date is located. My data is as follow. So I explained to Copilot, in column A, I have my mappings. For now, my mappings are cat and dogs, super specific, you know, and they have multiple occurrence, which means I can't use the index and match function because it will give me back only one value, right? In column B, C, and D, I have my dates. The main goal is to change one date in cell. And then I go as much detail as I can. And I don't want us to look at the answer yet. I just want you to think as Copilot as if you know where you're going, and you know, I'm maybe a little bit more advanced, intermediate, uh, it's going to help you find the solution. I knew index and match could do this. I know the solution was around that. So it gives me a first answer. It gives me multiple sum if in orange here. Not quite what I want because I don't want to add other sum if when I add a new category, another animal or anything. So I kept going. So I was like, I will love only one function. I think that sum if and index match could be my solution. It kept going, but with something that probably worked, but I didn't want it like that. So I kept going. I was like, could we make this only one formula? And that's actually, it happened last week, by the way. This is the exact example of my client, except it was not cats and dogs, and the numbers were not the same. So it kept going, and it says absolutely you can modify the formula to reference the cell F3, and it came up with this very specific function that I just now have to drag, and it works. I made a drop-down menu, and it did some sums. And actually, it saved me probably an hour of Google searching, trying stuff. I just put all my data in there, and it actually worked like a charm. And I was legit flabbergasted, and I made a video about it. So there's a full video format of this. Um, so yeah, so yeah. I lost track of the chat here. I don't think there's any remaining
No, that's
question.
cool. That's cool.
But yeah, so TLDR, long story short, Copilot, if you pay for the pro version, if you're advanced in Excel, I don't think it's worth it right now. If you're a complete rookie and looking to learn Excel and you don't have a colleague like David to help you whenever you need, I think it's worth it. So that's Copilot for Excel. I'm very sorry we could not see like everything that is possible, but I think it gives you a rough idea of what it can do and can't do, and you also have the prompt possibilities here. I just wanted to quickly tell you, if you wanted to know more on Copilot, I actually made some courses. I have my zero to hero tutorial because you can do so much more with Copilot. You can summarize books, you can summarize YouTube videos in seconds. So I have a very, very low ticket course. It's $9.99 US. And if you use the Danielle code here, that is at the bottom in pink, you get
I have my
20%
own
off.
code. That's cool.
You have your own code. It says expire May 3rd. It's expiring May 5th. We changed it last minute, so we have a few days.
So we've got a couple of days for that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, a couple of days. The link is in the chat right now. I don't want to sound like a sales pitch. It's just, if you like my energy, if you think Copilot can help you at work, I made a 15 minutes really micro course, super well built, what you need to know in Copilot. And coming up, I have my master class, which is going to be a 2 hours class. It's in pre-sale right now, but it's I think I'm selling it 50 US right now. With the 20%, it's even lower, but it's going to go up to 200 whenever I release it. It's going to be 2 hours super packed with real life practical example. Of course, when I will film the course, my Copilot will work this time. And yeah, but that's the power and the beauty of AI. You actually don't know what you're going to get, but lots of time. It saved me a lot of time. I use it on a daily basis. If I can maybe flash real quick, I don't have it anymore. But oh yeah, as you can see, my chat history, that's Copilot. That's how I use it every day. It saves me ton of time, and it stops at March 12, but I've been using it since it first came out. And yeah, if you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat.
Fantastic. And yes, we will send out the presentation
Sure,
if
sure,
if you wouldn't
100%.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna finish up very soon, but last chance if there are any other questions for David, yeah, just pop them in and we will try to answer them. What is the best way of getting in touch with you, David? To just get in touch with you on LinkedIn? Is that the best?
David Fortin CPA on LinkedIn. I can put the link on the chat
I've got
if
it.
you.
I got it
Oh,
there.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
You
yeah.
were faster than me.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry for the lighting. I look a little bit like a vampire, but I'm a really cool guy. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Copilot for Finance live yet? It's still in preview mode. I haven't had the chance to look at it. I know Minda Tracy, if I'm not mistaken, on her last name,
Yeah.
she released a video about it.
Yeah, I
To
popped
be
that in the
honest.
chat earlier. Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay, yeah.
really,
So
really
to be
cool
honest
video.
with you,
Yeah.
I think we're at the same milestone as Copilot in Excel. It's still in preview mode. To be honest with you, the best value I see of Copilot right now in Excel, let's say in Excel, is to show you what I just did with the index match.
Mm,
Like, you know where you're going, you're not too sure, you don't want to all type
mm,
all of that in and get some errors. That's how I see it right now. But I've been using it, guys, to create content, just brainstorm ideas, create titles, correct my grammar. I've been using it like crazy. It saved me so much time. Like, it's so great. Like, I'm really
mm,
sold on the product. And I've been using ChatGPT a lot before. I got into Python a little bit. I never coded in my whole life, but I got into Python a little bit with ChatGPT, and I can tell it's going to make a difference for businesses. Like,
mm,
it's just a tip of the iceberg. Is that what we say in English? Tip of the
mm-hmm.
iceberg.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah,
I'm a bit sad
fantastic.
that Copilot and Excel didn't really work out today. It's a little bit better than what you saw.
Yeah,
It can
yeah,
sort data, highlight data, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
still not there yet. Yeah, to be
Yeah.
honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's I'm not like super excited about it. I think there's a lot of potential going forward, but at the moment I feel like you have to be like a really fast typist and you kind of need to know where you're going. Like you do
Yeah.
need to know what you're talking about. You can't just know
hmm
absolutely nothing about Excel and expect Copilot to do it for you.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, the thing we didn't see, like the first thing I wanted to ask Copilot, like show data insights, it pops you some pivot tables with some data and charts that if you have no clue of doing charts, or if you're like not really into the
Yeah.
FP&A or charts making or data storytelling, it can gives you some ideas. Oh, I didn't think about putting the sales evolution through the years with, you know, a line chart on top of it, a combo chart is going to do it for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Does Copilot do anything with VBA? I mean, what I would suggest if you want to get into VBA is to actually use a chatbot and not the Copilot in Excel. You know, like just like I did with the sum if and index match example, it can help you code because, you know, like ChatGPT and Copilot is pretty much the same. They got a partnership together. Uh, I don't like to say that they have differences, but it's the same engine behind. It's just it is in your Microsoft environment instead of being on nowhere, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it can certainly write the code, and I think what's cool is that it
Mhm.
can do it. And I think where they're going with it is by having it inside Excel, you're using, you know, it's in context of what you're trying to do rather than,
Yeah.
you know, in the old days when we're just using a blog and you're trying to sort of convert the example
Mhm.
into the example that you've got. Okay,
We have
thanks.
Mira that asks you a question.
Yeah,
You can
probably the,
reach out to me directly if you want. Like it's
yeah,
up to you. Yeah. Have you
sure.
used other AI models? How does Copilot compare? So I can answer this question. I'm guessing by model you mean apps, so like ChatGPT and Copilot. Um, as I said at the beginning, I prefer Copilot on my side because I'm a finance professional, I'm a chart professional accountant, I am in the Microsoft environment. I feel like ChatGPT is a little bit more designed for coding. This limitation of January 2022 for knowledge, it annoys me a little bit. Yeah, it annoys me a little bit. I haven't tried Gemini from Google, which was called Google Bard before, because I think they're not yet in the US and Canada, which I find kind of weird, or they are in beta and in preview mode. From Google, it really surprises me. They're going to miss the boat. I feel like it will have a lot of potential. I know a lot of companies are running on Google's as well. Yeah, I tried Claude 3 actually, and you could not even prompt. Claude 3 is more for like coding, I think. I'm not too sure. Like I'm really more into Copilot, Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT. But what we see right now in the market is ChatGPT is top one, Microsoft Copilot is top two. But I'm pretty sure, to be honest with you, Microsoft Copilot is coming for top one. They have more data confidentiality awareness, like they're limiting your data. They added some protection. I can
That's a
maybe add a little,
that's a big consideration
yeah.
for sure.
I can
Yeah.
maybe add a little bit. I did one slide on that. So as you can see, that's the advertisement from Microsoft Copilot, the data security. So Microsoft has no eyes on access and chat data isn't used to train the underlying large language model, which is not the case for ChatGPT. But you know, I would advise if you don't want it to be on the internet, don't put it on the internet. You know,
Yeah.
just like they tell you, don't put any USB key in the computer so we don't have viruses. But I showed the result here. So when you log in with, like, I work for a school here in Quebec, I give Excel classes. You log in and it says protected. So it actually protect your ID, or I don't not too sure what it does, and you don't have any chat history. You see the chat history here when you log on your school or work account, it doesn't exist. It's not a feature. So it says here chat history and then the plugins and everything. So it won't. So your data are protected. That's something really important, and that Microsoft really cares more than OpenAI right now. I think it's going to be a huge game changer for companies.
Cool. All right. Well, it is almost 8 o'clock in the morning here in Sydney. So I think we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, David, for sharing all of that with us. And for those who subscribed on Zoom, I will send out a link to the recording, and I'll also pop that discount code and the links to the course as well. So I'll probably send that out tomorrow. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for all your fantastic comments in the chat. Thank you, everybody. And
Thank you,
thanks again.
everyone. Thank you for
Yeah.
attending. If you have any follow-up question, don't hesitate in my inbox in LinkedIn. Reach out. We'll have a chat. It's going to be a pleasure. Thank you for attending. Your time is valuable, and you chose to watch us today and hear about Copilot. So that's great. Thank you, everyone.
All right.